host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the weekly transit for all the rising signs. So now friends, I have already uploaded the video for the monthly predictions for the month of June for all the rising signs. But when we talk about the monthly predictions, that gives us a broader overview the way planetary vibrations is going to be impacting us. But when we talk about the daily transit or the weekly transit, that tend to remain a little bit more precise because over there we focus more on the movement and shift of moon. So now friends, this is something which I will do in this video. I have collated all the important information, and specifically in the month of June and this upcoming week, the first week of June is very important because in between from 30th of May until June 5th, Mercury is going to be coming out of its retrograde motion, Saturn is going to turn retrograde, and over and above that we are going to be celebrating the birth anniversary of Lord Saturn, which is the Shani Jayanti. So a lot of that is covering up in this week only. And friends, as because our whole focus is going to be in the movement of the planet Moon. So Moon is going to be making a journey from its sign of exaltation, from the Taurus sign until the Leo sign. So very good zodiac signs Moon is going to be covering this week, and basis your rising sign, basis your ongoing dashas, good results can be anticipated. So okay friends, now starting first with the Aries rising people. So now friends, as you can see over here that Moon is going to be covering very important houses this week for you guys, like starting its journey from your house of finances and reaching till the house of speculation. So because of which, specifically for the Aries rising people, this week seems to be very promising. For first of all, there could be some short journeys, like short journeys, road trips, trip which you might have planned for your friends and everything. This week will also give you a lot of time for hobbies or extracurricular activities. The best part over here is that friends, because Rahu is very strongly rooted right over there in your first house, so definitely all the Aries people must be running and going little bit restless with all the thoughts and all the new ideas or the burst of energy which you are currently experiencing. So I would say that just relying only on the thoughts is not enough. That has to be matched with your equal level of efforts and actions as well. But definitely friends, for anything to do with ideation, planning, strategy, road trips, spending time with your friends, giving attention to your hobbies, spending quality time with your family, with your children, and most importantly, because friends, Venus is also seems to be very supporting for you guys, like because Venus has got the rulership of your 7th house of the marriage, 2nd house of your kutum, of your family. So even for all those people who are on that arranged marriage mode, you are looking out for a prospective partner, so this week can also generate those opportunity that suddenly some proposal or some marriage invitation or the proceedings connected with the marriage might take a positive turn in your favor for all the Aries native people. Now friends, when we talk about from the students perspective, so definitely there is going to be some gains, some benefits, some positivity. Now this could be in any way, getting access to good study material, getting supported by your fellow students, batchmates, or from the mentors and all of that, but you have to work hard. So success is only going to come after a little bit of the strife. And definitely friends, travel is going to be there. And when we talk about your relationship with the father, so there could be a little bit of the energy of the arguments with your father, because as you know, till the time your 9th house lord, which is the planet Jupiter, it is conjunct with Mars in the 12th house, you have to remain a little bit cautious, because even Sun has very soon only has come out of the clutches of Rahu. So over and above that friends, this week seems to be very good for you, where your analytical power, your logical power, your far-sightedness and vision is going to be very strong. And over and above that, short journeys, trips can be foreseen for all the Aries rising people. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Taurus rising people, so definitely friends, as you can see over here that the journey of the moon this week is going to start from your first house and it's going to end on the 4th house. So first of all friends, just because of your ascendant lord being in the influence of Rahu and all of that, so to begin with, in the matters of your spending and your financial dealing and financial management, you have to remain a little bit cautious. The second thing is that, friends, when we talk about anything to do with the love, romance, from that perspective, this week seems to be promising for you. Like you might run into someone or relationship. So the energy of love and romance seems to be very much favorable for all the Taurusian people. The third thing is that, friends, when we talk about anything to do with the, regarding the matters of your profession and career. So definitely, friends, the prospects of the enhancement in your public image, in your reputation seems to be very strong this week. Now, it all comes down to that. This week is only making you vulnerable from the perspective of spending your money on wasteful things. So only if you can work on that. So keeping aside the wasteful spending, if you can curb that habit or temptation for all other aspects. Now, whether we talk about taking some important decisions, contemplative, strategic decision in the matters of your business, new role, new designation, which might also enhance your reputation. And also, like when we talk about anything to do with the matters of property and real estate, because whether you are a first time buyer or whether your profession, your livelihood hovers around buying and selling of properties, you are working as a realtor and all of that. So this week seems to be very promising. The journey of the moon, the arc of the moon, this week seems to be very promising for all the Taurusian natives. So only the waste, reckless spending of money is a habit which you have to curb during this week. It is also a very good week for all the students and all those people who are planning to appear for any sort of competitive exams. So this week seems to be very promising for them as well. It's just like that, when we talk about your relationship with your father and the wasteful spending, those habits needs to be curbed this week. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Gemini rising people. So now, friends, in your case, like definitely moon is going to be making a journey from your 12th house and reaching till your 3rd house. So now, friends, this week seems to be creating an energy of wasteful spendings. You have to remain a bit cautious over there. Second thing is that even when we talk about socializing, so definitely Gemini people are actually the social butterfly. Your 11th house is right now is very much accentuated because of the presence of Rahu over there. But friends, when we talk about from the perspective of actually socializing with people who are going to give some value addition to your life, so this week does not seems to be very positive on that front. So just wasteful travels or the hard work which you will put in, the result of that might not be as good as you might have anticipated. So now, friends, as you know this thing that your ascendant lord Mercury, which is currently retrograde, let's just wait this week for Mercury to gain its momentum, and once it is back in its pace, then the following week could be very positive, very promising for the gains perspective. But this week seems to be kind of making you vulnerable regarding your social dealings, like all those people who should give some value addition to you rather than drying out or sucking out of your energy. So yes, friends, in your monetary dealings, you have to remain a little bit cautious, and because aimless wandering might give lot many wasteful expenses. And apart from that, friends, when we even talk about the matters of your 5th house, so like all those specifically ladies or women who are pregnant and all of that, so whether it's about your parenting on the matters of the 5th house or women who are currently pregnant or who have conceived, so you have to give additional attention towards your health. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Cancer rising people. So now definitely, friends, for the Cancer people, this week seems to be kind of little bit promising, because the journey of the moon will cover your 1 house of income and it will end on another house of financial income. So because of which, when we talk about the financial gain perspective, so now again, friends, when we talk about these kind of videos, it all varies from individual to individual. So like someone who has got his own business, someone who's a freelance person, so for those people, these kind of transit result is going to impact them, influence them more strongly compared to someone who has got a fixed 9 to 5 federal government job. So now again, friends, coming back to the transit, so definitely when we talk about the financial gain perspective, this week seems to be promising for you. When we talk about the public image perspective, so now friends, over there you have to remain a little bit cautious, the people you will interact with or something, because sometimes what happens is that all those things which on surface looks very tempting, very fascinating, many times they have some hidden cost which has to be paid. So over here, regarding the matters of your public image, you have to remain a little bit cautious over there. Now friends, when we talk about the support of the luck, so as you can freely see that your 9th house right now in the transit is very empowered, is very strong. So in whichever area of life you are currently engaged in, the support of luck is definitely going to be helping you. So I would say that this is the time for you to take the bull by the horns, put your best foot forward. Your Yokarka planet, your Bhagyesh, the lord of your house of fortune, everything is in a very potent state. So when we talk about any obstacles, the support of the luck is definitely going to help you. And apart from that friends, definitely for all those people who are specifically students, so even from the students perspective, because as you can see that your 5th house lord is well placed in the 9th house, and over and above that, the journey of the moon from the house of wish fulfillment, the 1st house of your lagna and the 2nd house. So overall week seems to be very promising for students and people who are about to appear in any sort of competitive exams. And also friends, like when we talk about anything to do for the concerns of the marriage and anything to do with the relationship perspective, over there you have to remain a little bit cautious. The energy does not seems to be very promising, because as you can see that Saturn is in a very sensitive state during this week. So regarding the marriage front, if you are expecting any proposal or something, so energy does not seems to be very promising. But when we talk about spending quality time with your family, with your loved ones, from that perspective, this week seems to be very promising for all the Cancer rising people. So friends, I'm going to be summarizing this week's results for all of you guys. Regarding your financial gain, this week seems to be very promising. Regarding your public image, you have to remain a little bit cautious. When we talk about support of luck, that is definitely going to be there. Your analytical, logical mind is going to be very strong. You are going to be acting as a magnet who is going to be attracting and pulling all the wisdom towards itself. And apart from that friends, not a very good time for the marriage proposals coming your way. But when we talk about anything to do with the family life, buying a property, buying a vehicle, like when we talk about those specifically lifetime investments and all of that, that you're about to get retired from your government job and you're planning to book a home or buy a home for your retirement and all of that, or you're planning to buy your first car. So I would say for all those lifetime events and all of that, the energy of this week seems to be very promising for all the Cancer rising people. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Leo rising people. So now friends, in your case, moon is going to be making its journey from your 10th house and reaching till your 1st house, which can be seen as a very good sign. So friends, for anything to do with the gains perspective, this week is creating very positive energy for all those people who have their own business and everything. So for creating or remaining lucky in accessing lot many opportunities and very strategically working on them and encashing on all those opportunities, this week is creating a very positive energy for all the Leo rising people. Like all those people who are students or you're about to appear for any competitive exams, the planetary vibrations and the omens or the journey of the moon is going to be favoring you. And also friends, for all those people who are awaiting or looking out for any marriage prospects and proposals, this week seems to be very promising for that. Like your money, your time, your energy will spend on making good connections, spending on auspicious things, quality time with your family and friends. So from those perspective, this week's energy is very favorable. Now friends, the only vulnerability is that during the end of the last few days of the week, like from 3rd till 5th of the June, if in your case you're already going through any of the health related concerns connected with the sun, like when we talk about your health of your heart or anything to do with the eyesight related issues or general body vitality and all of that, so over there you might have to work or remain cautious. But apart from that, for economical, financial, material perspective, the energy of this week is very promising for all the Leo rising people. Your charm, your elegance will be experienced and you will attract lot many new contacts, new friend circle, or you might also run into someone who's going to be very prominent in your community, in your circle of of influence. Moving ahead, friends. Now for all the Virgo rising people, so now friends, in your case, moon is going to be making a journey from your 9th house and reaching till your 12th house. So now friends, definitely this is going to be very good energy, where because of the start of the journey from the 9th house, support of luck will definitely help you during this week. Like even from the perspective of all those people who are single, awaiting for any marriage proposal, the energy of this week is very favorable. Anything to do with the travels or change in residence, that can also take place during this week. Also friends, like 11th house energy is all about wish fulfillment. So in whichever area of life you are currently engaged in, this week can actually prove to be very favorable for all those wish fulfillment. And also friends, like when we talk about any of the concerns of the students or like people who are about to appear for any competitive exams and all of that, so even those people can also remain lucky if your ongoing dashas and antar dasha is also proving to be very favorable or supportive. All what is required is that, friends, trust me, just wait for your ascendant lord to come out of his retrograde motion, and then you will definitely experience that life has again gained the momentum which it was lacking in the past couple of weeks. So okay friends, if I were to summarize this week's results for all the Virgo people, so this week seems to be very good for any sort of wish fulfillment, because the support of luck is definitely going to push you in the right direction. Even from the perspective of marriage or marriage proposal coming your way, this week is creating very good energy. The only vulnerability is that just because moon is going to be ending its journey in the 12th house. So when we talk about wasteful expenses, so you might not be able to save a lot of money. So the wasteful expenses and spending, those habits and temptations needs to be curbed. But when we talk about enhancement of your image, fame, reputation, wish fulfillment, change in residence, gains from the travel, so from all of those perspectives, the energy of this week seems to be very favorable for all the Virgo rising people. Moving ahead, friends. Now the summary of this week for all the Libra rising people is that because moon is going to be starting its journey from your 8th house and it's going to be ending in the 11th house. So now friends, to start with, like definitely for all those people who are engaged in occult sciences, anything to do with research, PhDs and everything, so for all those students, this week seems to be very favorable. Now friends, like when we talk about seeking any funding or sponsorship, for that this week seems to be promising. But when we talk about loans perspective specifically, like seeking loan from the government, whether you have to take into consideration all the paperwork, all the taxing terms and interest rates and everything, over there you have to remain a little bit cautious. Now friends, when we talk about the concerns of your health and your lifestyle choices, that has to be made very carefully during this week, because the whole transit is getting formed in a way that if there is going to be any disease, any infection which you will caught during this week, that might gonna stay for longer time. So give heightened attention to your health. We all know that if I am more susceptible or vulnerable to cold or sensitive throat, so I have to give attention to that. So we all know about our body, about our vulnerability, so give attention over there. Now friends, when we talk about, definitely the energy level, enthusiasm is going to remain high during this week, but try not to be very unrealistic with your goals and with your plans, because this week is creating more of the energy of flying and riding too high, where you do not have any concrete vision for the realistic future. So only if you can work on that plane, things can actually work in your favor. So now friends, if I were to summarize this whole week's transit for you, so specifically in the matters of the loans or any borrowing or lending, you have to remain a little bit cautious over there. When we talk about for students or people about to appear in competitive exams, this week is good, specifically if 8th house related occult, research, PhDs is getting qualified in your case. And definitely friends, like in the matters of the health, you have to remain a little bit extra cautious. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Scorpio rising people, so now friends, in your case, as you can fairly see that the journey of the moon is going to start from your 7th house and it's going to end on your 10th house. So both of these two houses, and this curve has everything to do with investment, with research, being very insightful, support of the luck, and actually planting yourself or positioning yourself in your favor in the society. So definitely friends, this week seems to be very strong for all the Scorpio rising people. Your analytical skills will be very impressive and you will be able to problem solve any sort of difficult conflicting situation, whether we talk about in your family life, in your personal life, or in your professional life. Even friends, when we talk about like anything to do with the support of the luck, so support of the luck will definitely be there. New opportunities will definitely come your way. Competition or any sort of enmity or enemies will not be able to cause any trouble during this time. You will be able to win over any competition. You will be able to sense any sort of danger, any threat, any kind of enmity much before in advance, because when we talk about Scorpio natives, enmity and dealing with challenges is a part of your personality, because your ascendant lord only has got the rulership of your 6th house as well. So those are the instincts which comes naturally to all the Scorpions. So now friends, definitely if I were to summarize, this week seems to be very favorable for travels, which will prove to be very fruitful. Money will be spent and invested in auspicious things. Even from the perspective of buying property, this week seems to be very promising for you, because you know this thing, your ascendant lord is very well placed, strengthened in the 5th house, conjunct with Jupiter. So even if you are giving thought in that direction, this week's energy seems to be very favorable. Also friends, opportunities are going to come. Students and people about to appear in any competitive exams, they will also get benefited during this week. Specifically, some good auspicious news can also come your way by the end of the week, when moon is going to be traveling from the 9th house to the 10th house axis. And as you know that even right now the monthly transit and the planetary vibration is kind of very much favorable for you. So by the end of the week, when Mercury will also come out of its retrograde motion, so I would say that some good news, auspicious news can be awaited during that time. And also friends, like definitely when we talk about support of your partner, or because of the contribution of your partner, or good decision making done by you in the matters of your business, in the matters of your relationship, so public image can also get enhanced because of those wise contemplative decision making. And also friends, like definitely from the opportunities perspective, winning over your enemies perspective, this week's energy seems to be very favorable for all these Scorpio rising people. Moving ahead friends, now for all these Sagittarius rising people, so now definitely friends, the transit of moon is going to start its journey from your 6th house and it is going to reach till your 9th house. So from the 6th house, energy is going to go till your 9th house, which can be seen as a very good sign, because I always say this thing that 6th house and 9th house combination in itself is a dharma karma pati yoga, like all those people who take their duties like their religion. So a very dutiful approach towards the life, towards your profession. So definitely friends, like this week, starting with the any of the concern of the buying property and everything, so for that this week is creating a very positive energy. For the marriage alliances and everything, this week is not very promising, so remain very realistic, very practical in those areas. Now when we talk about in the matters of the business, so now friends, because moon is going to be making its journey from to Dushtana Bhava, so there is going to be more spendings, more expenses, rather than having more savings. So over there you have to remain little bit cautious. Now friends, definitely during this time in the family life, specifically in the family life, there is going to be some auspiciousness which will be experienced, like gathering, meeting like-minded people. Like in India there is a culture when we call Mera Guru Bhai, like my friend or my brother of the same guru, we both are the disciple of the same guru. So those kind of gatherings, meeting like-minded people, like all those people who give kind of very happiness or rejuvenating vibes and energy to you. So definitely arrival of friends, meeting like-minded people, from that perspective this week is creating a very positive energy. And also friends, like the only one thing which I want to say over here is that like there could be a little bit of the low curve in the matters of your finances, because the expenses might go high. And even when we talk about from the students perspective as well, things are not going to be very smooth flowing. So whether you have to sign up for any course, any training, or any new mentorship program, or about to join a new college or something. So try to remain very cautious over there. The people you associate with whatsoever documents you're gonna sign, or whatsoever the people in front of you are promising, are offering, is that realistic, is that doable or not? So little bit of the obstacles for the students and people even who are engaged in the business. So this week is only creating very good energy in the matters of the concrete real estate or property related decision, because Mars is very well placed with your ascendant lord in the 4th house, and the transit of moon from the 8th house is a time of investments, and from the 9th house also a very fortune combination. But apart from that, friends, when we talk about even the matters of the 5th house like love, romance, for students, or all those women who are currently pregnant or they have conceived, so just remain a little bit cautious. Any sort of distress or disharmony, mental stress might prove to be very hazardous right now. So just give attention to your mental health well-being, and this is the kind of summary which I am seeing for all the Sagittarius rising people. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Capricorn rising people. So now, friends, this week moon is going to be making its journey starting from your 5th house, and it is going to end its journey in your 8th house. Now, which can be seen as a good and bad. So it's a very mixed kind of energy. So now, friends, to start with, now when we talk about from the students perspective or people about to appear in any sort of competitive exams, this week seems to be very promising, because we cannot even overlook this fact that your 3rd house is right now in a very empowered state because of the presence of Jupiter and Mars over there. So good time for students or people about to appear in any competitive exam. Very good energy for all those people who are single and specifically relying or waiting for any marriage proposal come their way. Even this week's energy seems to be good for making some good connections or spending quality time with your friends or some new connections perspective. Now, friends, this week's energy is not very favorable for some heavy decision like buying any property or buying any vehicle and all of that, because in any case in your 4th house we have Rahu being placed over there, and this overall transit and the energy which is getting generated, it is just making us little bit vulnerable, the Capricorn rising people, on the matters of some important lifetime property related decision making. But friends, the good part over here is that when we talk about whether it's your education, whether it's your business, whether any important lifetime decision, you will act in a very wise, in a very far-sighted way. So decision making might not be as fast as it might have been other times, because you can fairly see that Saturn is in a very early degrees in the Capricorn. It has recently gone, it will go retrograde right over there in your 1st house. So because of which, even if people and circumstances around you are pushing you for some quick reflexive decision making, so do not pay heed to that. Trust on your gut feel. Any wise contemplative decision making, strategic decision making done by you will reap very good results in times to come, because even, friends, 5th house, 8th house has everything to do with your thinking and deep thinking, insightful thinking. So yes, friends, this can be seen as a very good time for saving, for far-sighted vision. Your thought process will be completely in control, in command. And along with that, friends, like when we talk about anything to do with the specifically on the matters of the family life, over there could be a little bit of the confusion. Like you might spend your money in your family matters and all of that, but still not be able to feel as contented as otherwise you would have been. So in the matters of the family life, because till the time Rahu is transiting from your 4th house, the matters of domestic life, inner contentment and peace is definitely going to be a matter of concern and worry. I always say this thing, Rahu can give you all the worldly wealth, luxury and everything, but contentment and satisfaction is not the domain of Rahu. So over there you have to remain a bit cautious. But apart from that, friends, just remain a little bit careful and cautious if buying property or vehicle is getting qualified in this week for you. But when we talk about from the students perspective and anything to do with the support of the family and education perspective, this week's energy is very favorable for all the Capricorn rising people. Now for all the Aquarius rising people, moon is going to be making its journey starting from your 4th house and reaching till your 7th house. So now friends, to start with, this week seems to be very promising for anything to do with the travels or generating new opportunities, enhancement of your public image and reputation. Even from the material financial gain perspective, this week's energy is favorable. The only vulnerability is that when we talk about from the marriage alliance perspective, this week's energy is not that favorable. So if you are in that stage of your life, you are awaiting some marriage, arranged marriage proposal and something, so this week's energy is asking you to be a little bit patient. And also friends, because the influence of Rahu over there in your 3rd house. So we all know this thing that the influence of Rahu in the 3rd house can make the horsepower of your mind reach altogether different level. You are thinking, you are filled with power, you want to take initiatives, but over and above that, many times Rahu also creates temptation towards all those things which are not ethical. So over there you have to remain cautious. Second thing is that friends, you have to be very aware of this thing that the association and the networking of Rahu could be connected with technology and new age sciences, but many times people with credibility issue or people who have deceit in their mind to cheat you or something, many times Rahu also attract those kind of energies as well. So during this week you have to remain a little bit cautious, because specifically in the matters of love and romance, because moon is going to be making its journey from your 5th house of love and romance, and then it is also going to cross from your 6th house as well. So this week's energy is getting generated in a way that in the matters of love and romance, getting cheated, getting deceived, things being hidden from you, so those kind of energies might also get generated. That is the only reason I did not give complete green signal for the marriage alliance, that you have to remain a bit cautious, the kind of credibility and the way things are getting presented or revealed to you. But friends, otherwise for the public image, reputation, good decision making, change in residence and travels, short journeys perspective, this week's energy seems to be very good. And also friends, for all those people who are like students or to appear in any competitive exams as well, this week's energy for all those Aquarius rising people seems to be very favorable. And last friends, for all the Pisces rising people, so now friends, in your case, moon is going to be making its journey starting from your 3rd house and reaching till your 6th house, which can be seen as a very good sign, because friends, in any case, Jupiter is very well placed in your 1st house. It is also conjunct with your house of luck lord, planet Mars as well. So because of which friends, this week's energy seems to be very favorable, starting for all the people in their business and the professional journey. Like in your professional, in your career, there could be some good development because of the support of the luck. Like for the students and people about to appear in any competitive exams, they can also get benefited. All the 3rd house related matters, like whether we talk about gaining because of the support of your sibling, because of the support of your friends, any short journeys which will prove to be very favorable. Also if you are planning to change your residence or shift to a new place, that new place's energies might also prove to be very favorable for you. For all those people who have been single for a long time and relying on the traditional matrimonial alliances perspective as well, this week's energy can suddenly generate some marriage proposal which might also come your way. The only difference which is coming this week is that, because friends, 9th house lord is Mars. So Mars, when it comes to the 1st house, many times it creates difference of opinion with your father, or like even when we talk about any cuts on the face, like even if you are a male, Pisces rising male, so while shaving your face you have to be a little bit careful, or if you are a female trying some new cosmetics or beauty product on your skin, try to be very careful over there. So yes friends, this is what the summary is, that this week is also very good specifically for buying any property or any vehicle perspective as well. So your confidence, your determination is definitely going to be all-time high, and you will win over your competition, your competitors during this week's energy, where moon is going to be transiting from your 3rd house and reaching till your 6th house. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for the weekly transit results for all the rising signs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine signs of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.